Thank you for watching KFVS 12, the Heartland's news channel. Now, Heartland News at 10.
Good evening. Scott City is continuing its effort to bring riverboat gambling to town.
And as the campaign intensifies, one company's come up with a plan that could end the bitter dispute over the use of the Southeast Missouri port. Kim Dawson has the story.
The supporters of riverboat gaming are moving ahead with plans to bring a riverboat complex to Scott City. Many groups anticipating Tuesday's election are working around the clock, urging residents to vote yes or no. But the mayor has announced that if approved statewide and locally, one company is pushing aside any other legal barriers that could get in the way.
Lady Luck has informed me today that they have other sites that they know they can put a riverboat in, and that they are going to vigorously pursue those other sites.
Although the company is looking at several alternative sites, officials refuse to reveal any more details before the April 5th election. Even if the city chooses to use Lady Luck's plan that won't utilize the port, there still may be some wounds slow to heal. Some residents say that they've never seen relations between Cape County and Scott City so poor. Among some residents, there's been talk about boycotting Cape County businesses. Although the plan is not supported by the city or the Scott City Chamber of Commerce, residents say they have a stake in the port and they want their voice heard. But in the meantime, officials are pleased that the port is not the only choice.
I think this just kind of clears the air and probably makes a lot of people relieved in Scott City. It kind of clears the air for them, knowing that there are other sites that they know they can put a riverboat in, and in this facility. So it's really, like I say, this is just tremendous news for Scott City.
In Scott City, Kim Dawson, Heartland News.
The Chaffee Fire Department is still investigating a gas leak that may be causing problems in the downtown area. Officials say that gas from the Winks service station on Main Street may be leaking into the ground. Crews were called to the scene last week, and officials thought they had the problem fixed. However, tonight they are digging up the ground once again to see if pumps are still leaking gas.
Investigators for the Illinois Central Railroad will work late into the night to fix a train derailment north of Carbondale. Illinois Central Railroad investigators continue looking into exactly what happened early this evening. No one was injured when two cars jumped the tracks, ripping apart a section of rails. Someone apparently was on the tracks in front of the train, forcing the engineer to slam on the brakes. That's what forced the two grain cars off the tracks.
That was it. Scary. It was a lot of noise. A lot of noise.
The derailment happened around 5 o'clock, jamming up several blocks of traffic in downtown Carbondale. Traffic was at a standstill for about half an hour.
Residents and administration are at odds over how the Meadow Heights School District is being run. Parents complaining that their questions go unanswered by the school board. The administration says they're not asking the right people. The whole situation came to a boil with the release of a state audit. It recommended changes in school record keeping. Critics say it didn't go far enough. Faculty and staff say it was a waste of time.
You know, if it's $1 off, or if it's $1 million off, if it's not right, it's not right.
There were not any sufficient findings, and you know, we spent $6,000 on an audit that could have been spent on our kids.
Teachers complain that the community's division is beginning to affect morale, but a school patron organization keeps pressing the issue and has placed 2 of its members on next Tuesday's school board ballot.
The Cape Bullinger County Major Case Squad is backing off the investigation into a fatal shooting in Jackson. Investigators have been meeting since yesterday discussing the case. 31-year-old Gretchen Starks died instantly when she was shot in the chest with a 9mm pistol. The victim's daughter says the gun accidentally discharged when she was handing it to her mother. Police say the evidence they have from the crime lab so far substantiates the girl's claim. The Major Case Squad is bowing out of the investigation, but the Jackson Police Department will continue.
There's still things out there that we are waiting to come in, and we're not going to call it quits until it is formally closed and we have every piece of evidence back from the lab and the psychological exam.
The 11-year-old daughter is in the custody of the Department of Family Services. Police say the girl could not be charged with any crime regardless of what the investigation turns up because she is legally considered a child until the age of 12.
Well, just ahead, why some Heartland law enforcement agents took aim today with illegal weapons.
You're watching Heartland News at 10 with Mike Shane, Marianne Maloney, weather with Bob Reeves, and sports director Randy Ray. Heartland News continues in a moment.
At Town and Country, Country Mart, you've got savings in the bag.
Red Baron 12-inch family pizzas, 2 for $7. Pillsbury pie crust, $1.69. Ever-ready alkaline batteries, $2.49. Sara Lee cream pies, 2 for $6. Brock's bag candy, 4 for $1. Brave Farms best grade ice cream, 2 for $3. Dubuque 95% fat-free whole boneless hams, 99 cents a pound. And Red Ripe sugar sweet fresh strawberries, 77 cents a pound.
You've got savings in the bag.
North American tree cutters.
Having to shoot a horse you rode a long time.
Low tonight in the mid-30s.
Absolutely the lowest prices.
You know, in no time at all, you could be in St. Louis. For your free family getaway package or hotel reservations, call 1-800-888-FUN-1.
Now held over due to popular demand, the sale that celebrates all our nation's best. Your Jeep and Eagle dealer's National Drive for the Gold sale, where there's still time to buy or lease Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo at special savings. Buy or lease Eagle Vision. Get $500 cash back on Eagle Talon and up to $500 back on Summit. So drive for the gold at your dealer now and drive away a winner.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
And now a quintile analysis of urban soybean consumption. Now these numbers are self-explanatory, so let me explain them. Everyone still with me? Good.
When you want to sneak out for a quick bite, try the Pizza Hut Lunch Buffet with 6 delicious different pizzas every day. Crispy salad, breadsticks, pasta.
Here's a little number you'll enjoy.
And you'll be back before you know it.
Now in 1940...
Sometimes you just gotta stop and smell the pizza.
Police are preparing themselves for the bad guys. At a local motorcycle and outlaw conference, area officers learned more about the enemy and their weapons. Andrea Stevenson has more.
Law enforcement officers are shooting the guns that are usually pointed at them. These automatic weapons have been confiscated from criminals and brought here to help officers learn what they are up against.
We brought out the AK-47 with the Uzis, the M16. We were having the officers take a look at what we're finding on the streets and become aware of what's out there, not only to protect themselves, but the people that are on the streets.
By shooting these illegal rifles, officials are learning what to listen for and what to watch out for. With gang activities on the increase, confiscating weapons is only a small part of the job. Learning to handle them is another.
Now that I've fired them and handled it and was familiar with them, I would be able to unload one and render it safe if we'd ever confiscate one.
Local officials say they are concerned about the movement of gangs through the heartland. They say law enforcement is getting tougher, even in rural communities.
I've got a gut reaction that yes, it's here and it's probably going to increase because of the proximity of the metropolitan area like St. Louis or Memphis, that it's here and it's going to eventually be here even in more numbers than what we've got now.
With over 2 million guns in the nation, law enforcement officers have their work cut out for them. Officials here say getting to know the enemy gives them a head start. Andrea Stevenson, Heartland News.
Today wrapped up a 2-day conference where officers shared information on regional crime trends.
The United States has taken the next step toward hitting Japan with trade sanctions. The Clinton administration today released its annual review of foreign trade barriers, and it finds 35 nations and four trading blocs are making it difficult for trade in American goods, services, and investment. The biggest part of the report, 44 pages, is devoted to Japan. This year's report takes on added weight because President Clinton has reinstated the so-called Super 301 trade law. Under that law, the administration can decide to impose punishing tariffs on exports from offending countries. The tariffs would be equal to the amount lost in American sales.
The stock market was mixed today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was up more than 9 points, but decliners led gainers by 2 to 1. Volume was heavy. The S&P 500 index was slightly higher, while the NASDAQ Composite Index was down about 1.5. The Dow Industrials had been down by as much as 67 points during the session, but with an improvement in the bond market, the stock market staged a partial turnaround.
And President Clinton says Americans shouldn't worry about the economy despite the slipping stock prices. In Clinton's words, there is no reason to overreact. He says the nation's economy is healthy and sound.
Boy, after today, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
It should be good, considering that it might be warmer than today, and today wasn't bad after the sun got up.
Yeah, the sun sure makes a difference. It felt good out there today.
But a chilly start. We'll be checking the weather with Brian next.
It's been heralded by TV Guide as the all-time best, beating out scores of television game show greats.
What is Jeopardy?
Jeopardy, the Emmy Award winner, honored for Best Host, Best Achievement in Writing, Direction, and for the last 4 years running, named television's most outstanding game show, Jeopardy, celebrating 10 years of unquestionable excellence.
Weekdays at 3:30 on KFVS 12.
You like milk and it shows. You like milk and it shows. You like milk and it shows. You got baby soft skin. You like milk and it shows. And a big healthy grin. You like milk and it shows.
Milk, it does a body good with vitamin A to help keep skin smooth, calcium for strong bones, and protein to help build muscle.
You like milk and it shows. It does the body good.
15 minutes till the Elder Beerman sale.
Don't miss Elder Beerman's one-day sale. It's savings for you,
Thanks, honey.
your home, and
Mom?
everyone in it. Get there early. Elder Beerman's one-day sale starts 7 a.m. Saturday.
What day?
Saturday, 7 a.m. till midnight.
Storm Team Weather brought to you by Absher Motors in Marion.
Absher Motors takes you on the road with Don McNeely.
We're on the road at the Oliver House in Jackson. This 1850s home has been restored to its original condition to show the beauty of the period. Here's a real beauty, too, the new Jeep Cherokee from Absher Motors. Beautiful and tough and comfortable. We'll see you on the road in your new Jeep Cherokee from Absher Motors in Marion.
Absher Motors, new Route 13, just west of I-57 in Marion.
Bob Reeves, Pam Land, and Brian Allworth, the KFVS 12 Storm Team.
We got off to a frosty start this morning, then warmed up nicely.
In fact, our low this morning tied the record for the day. But it did warm up all the way up into the 50s. In fact, I would say it felt even warmer than that because that late March sunshine was feeling pretty good today.
Of course, that's an indication it's not going to be long before that sunshine is feeling hotter and hotter and hotter.
Yeah, we'll look back on these days with some fond remembrance. Well, let's go outside and check things out this evening. We've got nothing on radar. In fact, skies are still pretty much clear around the area. The numbers today did look like this. 27 for a low that tied the record previously set back in 1969, way back then when I was about 9 years old. Man, 55 was the high today, but it felt even nicer than that. 43 currently on the thermometer, wind southeast at 3 years old. I'm usually asleep by this time. You have to give me a little break here. Humidity 60%, barometer steady at 30.24 inches of mercury. Skies are clear, no precipitation in the gauge. Very quiet night across the middle of the country. We got high pressure down to our south, in fact, ridging all the way up the Mississippi Valley. And then we've got a trough of low pressure up here in the dashed red lines. That's giving us a light southerly or southwesterly breeze. And that should keep temperatures higher tonight than what they were last night. So we're not looking for the frost, at least in most areas, like we saw this morning. Temperatures around the region tonight are mainly in the 40s, 42 at Paducah, 46 at Poplar Bluff, 48 down in Memphis. Mount Vernon is the cool spot on this map, 33 degrees, 50 still at St. Louis and also at Kansas City, and up in Chicago, fairly mild, 46 degrees this evening. Well, the satellite picture is pretty much clean tonight. We've got a few clouds down in Mexico and the Gulf, a few way out here in the Atlantic coastal states. This is kind of interesting, though, this little low-pressure system swirling around out in Idaho and Oregon. This little innocuous-looking low may be our next weather maker. Unfortunately, it looks like it may kind of lollygag across the country and move in here and give us some showers late Saturday or early Sunday. Still a little early to tell exactly when it'll come through and if it'll give us much in the way of inclement weather, but it does look like we do have a chance of showers from that late Saturday or early Easter morning. The nation's weather is very, very quiet tonight. We've got a little bit of rain and some thunder showers way out along the Atlantic coast, some showers way down in southern Florida around Miami and the Keys, and a couple showers with that low out in Utah, but otherwise it is very, very quiet for this time of year. The low this morning was 4 degrees at West Yellowstone, Montana, and the afternoon high, sounding like the middle of summer almost, 95 down at Yuma, Arizona. The jet stream is still showing a trough in the east, a little curve there to the jet stream, but most of the cold air for right now is way up here, north of this little branch of the jet stream. In fact, the only folks that are going to see cold weather over the next couple of days are these guys way up in the northeast. You see this front that'll be dropping down tomorrow and bringing some cold air and some light snow to the Great Lakes and northern New England. The rest of the country will be either mild or fairly warm, it looks like, and that includes us because that high-pressure system will be remaining to our south. A trough of low pressure will still be to our north, and that'll mean a southwesterly wind, and that'll warm us up even more tomorrow than what we saw today. Lows tonight mainly in the 30s for the heartland, some 40s trying to move up from the southwest, highs in the 60s to the low 70s. So our forecast for tonight, mostly clear, not as cold, 31 to 38 degrees overnight. For tomorrow, mostly sunny and breezy, clear to partly cloudy, we'll say, with highs getting up around 70 degrees. Saturday looks like a pretty nice day as well, but maybe by Saturday night into early Sunday, a chance of some showers with that next system. But that should move out Sunday morning, so Sunday should be a pretty nice day all in all. Monday, mostly sunny and a little bit cooler. And the wind is definitely not at 3 years old. It's more like 3 miles an hour, I think.
3 miles an hour and nice tomorrow.
Yes.
Thank you, Brian.
Poor Brian. He needs his sleep. Well, still ahead, why you shouldn't cook up a rare burger on your grill. And expectant mothers in Heron will soon have to make a trip to have their babies. We'll tell you why.
Only one gift gives you advanced night repair. It's free with any $15 Estee Lauder purchase. Yours through April 2nd at